Let's get into it.
Declan, how are you?
Very well, mate. Very well. How are you?
Oh, my back's a bit sore.
Why is that?
Just had a fill up on the weekend.
Yeah.
Pockets are full.
Cheer-ho. Yeah. I hope that the Drifters had a fill up on the weekend because we gave a few indications across the park, across the states, that, came up trumps.
Yeah.
One at big odds.
Yes.
In a pretty big race.
I'd say the biggest 2-year-old race on the planet, actually.
Yeah, I'd say that too. Yeah, mate. How you feeling? Fireburn? Look, if you look around a lot of the other commentary that exists in the greatest sport on earth, horse racing, and a lot of the the pundits who are professionals and all that sort of stuff around Australia, I'd say an overwhelming amount of them didn't have Fireburn on top.
I would have thought so. Well, they gave she gave Winburn as stated on this very podcast last week. She gave Winburn to She's Extreme, and I thought she was brilliant the next start. But again, as stated, I thought Fireburn was open to the same improvement, and it turns out she was.
She was.
But mate, what a ride, what a win! Got basically put through the running rail when she was having a box on with the stablemate Sajardin about the 800. Yeah,
well, usually when a horse gets rattled like that mid-race, you're like, oh well, that sucks. Hopefully it hits the line strongly.
Yeah.
I'll back it next start.
I'll back it in the size, see how we go, and then Brendan Avdulla
balances her up.
Just absolutely put her through her gears, and then whooshka.
Yeah, that's the best slipper I can remember seeing. Best slipper win I can remember
Since
seeing.
like consistently watching horse racing, that's by far the best.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it was awesome, mate. So great work for the pod. We picked a few others elsewhere, but that by far was the best pick. I reckon that's probably the best tip we've had on the podcast for a while.
I'd say probably since, out from us, excluding Yonkers at 50 to 1.
Mackenzie Jones, birthday boy this week.
Oh, happy birthday, bruh. I'd say probably Wild Ruler was the last one at double figures.
Yeah, about
race.
10s or 11s.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, geez, that was a good fill up as well.
Yeah, so, onwards and upwards, but, when you have one at that price and, you responsibly launch into it, you got to toot your own trumpet sometimes.
Oh, look, I think we don't do that enough on this podcast. I don't think we give it the big one enough.
No.
And I'm arrogant as fuck. So, we need to give it the big one a bit more because we give ourselves a hard time when we don't pick well. Like we call it out. We present. We present to the Drifters. We say, hey, look, guys, we did really poorly.
Yeah. But
so sometimes when we pick a good one.
Not last week. And to be frank, mate, Season 3, Season 4, I want to give you a round of applause.
Oh, here we go.
Congratulations. Mate, you just notched up your 20th Group 1 winner in the leaderboard, which I'd say that would be right up there with some of the best pundits. So, Drifters, just to get a little bit, statistician-y on you.
Oh, gee whiz, this is going to put the biggest knocker on me of all time. But anyway.
So, Declan Jones here is picking Group 1 winners at 40%, which in horse racing is unheard of. And then you're picking him to run top 3 at 70%.
Sheesh.
So even if you don't like him,
which there's a long list of people.
At least chuck it in the quaddie. You have to.
Yeah, you have to.
So, mate, congratulations. Let's go on some good stuff.
Hey, you're only as good as your last weekend. So we're both good right now, but we've got a new weekend waiting for us to get into.
That's true. So, we have for Friday night Group 1 racing.
Brilliant.
Love that for the soul. And it's a bit of an appetizer before we get into the big boy stuff of the championships. But are you happy or glad or, sad to see Rosehill go this weekend?
Mate, it's mixed feelings, mixed emotions, because let's be honest, like I've only really had one weekend where I haven't had a fill up in the last sort of 4 or 5. So, I'm pleased to progress to the championships. I'm just sick of the bloody rain in Sydney.
I know. And at the moment, it's about a soft 7 last time I checked, but the rain's hitting tonight. But it's not much. It's like 10 to 20 mil. It'll probably be enough to put it in the heavy range.
Mother Nature has a lot to answer for. She's been a real bitch this autumn.
Hates Western Sydney.
Oh, hates it. Filthy with Western Sydney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Parramatta, take note. The West Tigers. Let's just touch on the NRL.
West Tigers. I was saying this. I was at Mum and Dad's place last night.
Sure.
And I was saying this to my dad. If I had to pick another club to support outside of the Dragons, the bottom of that list by a long way would be the West Tigers.
God, yeah.
They are pitiful, atrocious.
Soulless,
mate.
What club has 5 captains? I ask you that. There's no leadership at the joint.
Hey, I agree. And yeah, there's no leadership. And who was the last club that was in a lot of turmoil when they had players out till all hours of the evening?
Yeah.
Giving the Brickies laptop a little ting, ting, ting.
Bronx Nation.
Yeah.
But in their defense, I feel like that's a bit of a non-story. So apparently that text message or someone emailed Buzz or whoever
Buzz.
Wrote the article. Absolutely non-event. Apparently it was 9 p.m. when they wrote the email, and that's when they received, and that's when they left, apparently the hotel in question. So they obviously just had dinner, chucked 50 through the pokes, and then went home.
Yeah, right.
It's a non-story. Broncos, on the other hand, the other year, they're up to all hours of the morning.
Yeah. I wonder if that affects the psyche of the players. If you have a big loss the day before on the punt and then you rock up to play footy, do you reckon you present with your best football if you've just lost $2,000 on the punt the day before, if not more, knowing how some of those footballers punt?
It's a good question you raise, and I don't know how to answer. Probably not. David Schwartz, famous gambling addict and AFL footballer for the Demons, but he's come out and done some fantastic work about responsible gambling. But he said he used to be playing on the G and he'd mark it, big centre half forward, right?
Mm.
He'd mark it, he'd be lining up and he'd look up at the screen, not at like how long's to go in the quarter, but like what time it is. He's like, oh yeah, Group 1's about to run in about 2 minutes. I have like $5,000 on this thing. So wonder how it goes. Then he just kicks the goal. It's like, fuck.
Gee whiz.
That's living on the edge. That life's not for me.
No way in hell.
No.
I get nervous enough watching horses that I've spoken about on the podcast run.
Yeah. 100%.
Without any cash on it. Actually, speaking of, without reception, watching a big day of racing is terribly difficult on your phone. And then when you can't actually get it up, it's just the worst feeling ever. You see the race go, you're like, and what's next? So you're texting the boys, who won? Like a dickhead.
We'll keep you extremely well informed. Like, I think we're saying that Zaki just won with a leg in the air. Mazu absolutely spanked him
again. Can he run every weekend?
Can he? Speaking of running each weekend, how good was Shelby 66?
Don't think we'll ever see the likes of it ever again. Not in our lifetime.
I don't think so. Very, very rare, but highway winner to Group 1 winner in one prep.
Oh, mate, the story is unbelievable.
Paid up late for the TJ.
Yeah.
Stranger things have happened. Why not?
Stranger things have happened, Unbelievable story.
Love it. Love it. Before we get into this weekend of racing, mate, was there anything else you wanted to raise or did you just want to get stuck in?
Oh, look, the only thing that I wanted to talk about from the weekend of racing was, the 2-year-olds, as much as we bagged them for being a poor crop, that was still a brilliant race.
It was.
So all of that sort of commentary from us leading into the Golden Slipper, it all sort of becomes irrelevant. You know what I mean?
Well, I guess you can only beat who you're beating.
Yeah.
And we saw the best two-year-old performance of the lot on grand final day.
Which is perfect.
You love to see it.
Yeah.
And personally, I can't wait for the size and the champagne when it's going to be arguably one of the biggest untapped horses, 2-year-olds that we've seen, Magic, go up against Fireburn.
Yeah.
That's going to be a brilliant contest.
100%.
And you have Sajardin with a bit of luck. She's Extreme with a bit more luck. You know, it's going to be fantastic. And then...
Jeez, she's just getting me wound up for some more racing. How good.
Well, before we get there, mate, we have to get to this weekend's of racing.
For sure.
Should we call the Drifter of the Week?
Let's get the Drifter of the Week on, mate.
Right, let's do that. Tim, by all reports.
Tim Smith, keen punter.
Love that.
Oh,
Tim, you there?
yeah, hey, mate.
How are you, mate? Drifter of the Week this week, guys, is Tim Smith. How are you, mate? What's going on?
Mate, I'm actually just doing some form on tomorrow night, really. I was just checking out the weather, seeing what the track's going to do. So, yeah, thought I'd better get prepped for you.
Oh, mate, I appreciate that. You've got Hutcho here as well, Tim.
G'day, Hutcho. How are you, mate?
Good, Tim. Good, mate. Hey, you're a Kiwi by all reports. Is that right?
I am a Kiwi. Yeah, I've been here for 8 years, though, mate, so I'm a bit of a hybrid now.
Oh, you might know a mate of mine, actually. His name's James McDonald.
Oh, yeah.
Did you?
I don't know him. I've heard good things about him, though.
Can you have a word to him about his ride on VE for us, please?
Mate, it was horrible. Absolutely horrible. But, yeah, I think he'll be back in the winner's circle a couple times this week, so...
Yeah, probably,
yeah.
mate. Probably. Yeah, VE ruined about 1,000 of my multis on the weekend and every other punters, I'm sure. So, but, you know, she's a champion, so we'll forgive her. Hey, Tim, mate, it's your 30th. Was your 30th, sorry, last week.
Yep.
Did you find any winners on the weekend to have a fill up for your 30th?
I absolutely did not. Last week was horrible. I think like the rest of the country, to be honest. I think I had Very Elegant anchoring most of my multis. I think that was probably 5 or 6, and she got absolutely, sick. She really betrayed me, to be honest. So
Betrayal.
I'll probably struggle to get back on it, to be honest, now. So.
Oh, mate, I'm sure she'll get up at a big price soon. But, yeah, mate, so we've got a few races this weekend, a few Group 1s. We've got Friday night racing, Moonee Valley. We've got the William Reid there. There's a super short price favourite in the market in Marabi. Are you with her?
Yeah. 7 from 7, mate. I don't think anything gets over top of her, to be honest. So, especially at the Valley, she's a jump and run horse, and it seems to... Or I think it always favours a horse at the Valley when they jump and run, and I don't think anything will be able to catch her, to be honest.
Yeah, mate, I am 100% with you. I think she will probably extend that winning streak. Moving on to Saturday's racing, Rosehill, guessing it's probably going to be a bloody heavy 8, heavy 9 again. Is that what you're thinking?
It's going to hose down. I think it's already started raining there, and I think we'll probably be heavy 8, heavy 9 on Saturday. And Rosehill, like they say, is generally like a heavy 10 when it gets pretty wet. So, yeah.
100%. Well, we're looking at the Tancred, Group 1 over 2,400 metres, race 7 in Sydney, Rosehill.
Yeah.
A few things that are pretty short in the market. What do you like?
Mate, I reckon you could pick a number of them out, to be honest, but I'm probably with Spanish Mission. If you anything to go by the last few weeks, if it's horses that are fit and in front that have been able to seem to hold them out, and that seemed to be J-Mac's strategy with Animo last week. He just got to the front and just sort of dictated it from there. I think Spanish Mission, I think, will do the same with J-Mac on board and probably be a little bit too strong, but I'm also predicting Stockman at $3 a place to put in a pretty good run. He loves the wet. I think he was something like 5 from 7 on a heavy 8 plus. So I'm expecting him. He'll get back, but I think he'll charge home for a place at $3. I think he looks pretty good for that.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So, mate, have you had a look at the rest of the card? Is there something that you really like this weekend? Your best bet?
I do. Yeah, I absolutely love Year-Long Command tomorrow night and that 955 challenge.
Yep.
Yeah, he's drawn one. He's at 59 kilos, but he like Marabi, is a jump and run horse, and I'm expecting it to probably be a good 3 tomorrow night at the Valley, and that's just going to suit him. He'll have the shortest way to the winning line, and I actually predict him to win by a good 2 or 3 lengths, to be honest.
Oh, lovely. So that's...
Yeah, he's paying $3 currently, so I'm just about to climb into one myself, to be honest. So.
Mate, you have to, straight after you tip it on the potty. So that's race 5, number 1, Yulong Command, $3.10 with Neds at the moment. 2 kilo...
You're stupid if you don't get on.
Yeah, exactly. 2 kilo claimer engaged by the apprentice, so actually riding a little bit lighter than 60 kilos.
There you go, mate. So, yeah, that would be my tip. And I think even on Saturday, looking at Annie Visto, it will probably be another pretty good back for me. But look, that's probably all I've got for you, Declan. So,
Tim, mate, you've absolutely killed it. But thanks so much, mate.
all right,
Godspeed. I will catch you for a beer tomorrow night. Hey,
sounds good. Happy punting.
Yep, you too, mate.
Yeah, fellas. Bye.
All right, bye. Look, he summed that up quite nicely.
He really did.
You know what? I'm not going to hold it against him that he backed a year-long horse.
Yeah, I don't think he's aware of the fact that we're not a fan of those silks.
We're not.
At all.
Apparently it is in motor racing, but I think it's also a thing in horse racing. It's bad luck to wear green to a track.
Oh, really?
Because it's the colour of money in the US.
Oh, of course.
So, yeah, Yulong's kind of, put middle finger to that, I guess, tradition, which I can respect.
I can respect that. And it's not just a splash of green like the Arrowfield silks that you see on September Run, or perhaps the silks at Castelvecchio or Profondo, where that's a little splash of green. That's fine.
Bit of wasabi on the side.
Yeah, exactly. We love
as previously mentioned.
We love a bit of wasabi on the side with us, with our Asian cuisine.
Hey-ho, baby.
Better add edamame.
Yeah, yep.
Look, Tim made that all sound very, very simple. But
I wish it was that easy.
You know what the episode of this podcast is going to be, and people would already know this, but it's going to be Rubik's Cube racing. That's what it is this weekend. It is bloody Rubik's Cube racing. I really struggled with this. With these Group 1s.
No, I didn't really struggle. Like I came upon my decisions pretty quickly, but I don't have a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
Not as much as what I did last week with, let's say, Zaki, where I said he'd win by 2 or 3 lengths, but he actually only won by 1. So I was pretty disappointed with the results. So.
Okay, let's go to the Valley. Surely we can, get one here. But look, Marabi's the $1.75 favourite. Group 1, 1,200 metres, way for age. Look, I'm looking over this field. Look, Trekking's a Group 1. No, is he?
Group 1 winner.
Oh, yeah, 2-time. Stradbroke.
Yeah.
Trekking's a Group 1 winner. Jonker's a Group 1 winner. Kemmel Pass has won a couple of Group 2s.
September Run
is a Group 1 winner against her own age. And then it falls away quite a bit. She laps them here, Marabi?
Doesn't quite lap them, but yeah, she wins pretty comfortably. I think Marabi, perfectly suited to the Valley, gets up on pace. She can absorb pressure. She can kick away on a strong pace. 1,200 metres her wheelhouse, proven on the Valley already, like I said. Yeah, I think she just keeps on winning, Marabi.
Yeah, I tend to agree. But one thing I have been having great success with recently is my SRMs. Which shout out to Neds. They're good fun. They're great fun.
Shout out to Jess Mitchell as well. Big SRM punter.
Yeah.
And I've always turned my nose up at it a little bit, but you're having great success.
I am. I'm going for three weekends in a row here. So the way I'm going to play this, I reckon I'm going to go Marabi either to win or top 2 finish. Makes sense, right?
That makes a lot of sense to me.
The ones that I'm going to contemplate putting into a top 4 finish behind is number 3, the Inferno.
Yep, that doesn't shock me.
And number 4, Camel Passer.
I reckon he'll run a pretty strong race, Camel Passer.
Yeah, I think he hasn't run in about 6 weeks or so, I think. But I think he's just honest as the day is long, this horse. And I think this is probably, all things being equal, his best chance of a Group 1. He's only run at Group 1 level twice, and he got nosed out in an Oakley Plate when he was near the top weight, which is pretty impressive when there was the dead heat last year. And the other time, I think he finished down the track in a Goodwood, but that's South Australian racing for you. Just throws up curveballs. So I think he's in with a shot here. The Inferno absolutely flies second up. Back to his favourite track here. He nearly fell over in the Lightning when he was out the back.
Bloody profiteer.
Yeah, so I think the trainers looked after him, set him here. Mark Zara aboard will give him a good steer. Barrier 7's probably one of the better draws he's had recently. So I think he can run into the money. But yeah, I think Marabi wins though.
Yeah, I agree.
Lovely. Let's go to the Tancred. Okay. This is where I'm starting to fiddle with this Rubik's Cube because I'm really struggling with this race. And the reason being is this bloody weather. Now, it might all cancel itself out because, as Tim mentioned, Stockman's probably, when you look at this field, one of the better wet trackers, but he's been doing it in about benchmark quality and maybe Group 3s. This isn't an absolute vintage edition of the race, but you have some high-quality horses. Think it over, Spanish Mission, even the Chosen One, who's, getting better with age. She's ideal in Duais. I really struggled here. Can you give me a hand?
Yeah, look, I think the weather's going to play a part. And if the weather's playing a part, you're looking at something like She's Ideal, who slashed home in the Chipping Norton to give VE a scare. And I think that was almost a peak run for her in her career. She's Ideal over 1,600 metres on a heavy 10. But she's got pretty good form in lesser grades out over further, as we know. Yeah, you read her form on a wet deck, on a heavy deck, on a soft deck. It's all pretty positive. Yeah, she's $11 with Neds at the moment. Would you say that's slightly overs?
I jumped on her earlier in the week.
Did you?
At about 14s. Chucked a little something on. Just because I was going, if it is wet, that Chipping Norton is just about the form race of the autumn so far.
Yeah.
It's just had form lines coming everywhere out of it.
Left, right, and centre.
It's been brilliant. So, and she nearly knocked off VE. Duais and Montefilia finished behind her that day and, gave their opposition absolute windburn since. I am actually leaning her way in a race where I'm just finding it really impossible.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. I'm with the favourite Duais. Look, it is difficult coming from a good 4 at Flemington to a heavy deck in Rosehill. I appreciate that. She was unreal in the Australian Cup. Sat off not a super quick pace. It was a fast enough race, I thought, with Spanish Mission up front and Think It Over just behind from memory. So she came home really strongly. If you look at the Chipping Norton, she's ran 6th, but she was actually travelling really well up on the inside. I thought it was just about the biggest red flag, green light.
Yeah, either or.
In the race, I think she gets out to 2,400 metres just fine. Barrier 7, I think she'll actually sit up closer than what she typically does. And, look, if she can handle the heavy, I think she wins. It's a risk because she might not. But I don't want to take her on. I do admit She's Ideal is a great punt at that price, 100%.
It's just the grade, which is obviously, whenever she's stepped up to this grade, she's been pretty terrible. But
Yeah. How'd she go in the Caulfield Cup? Did she run in the Caulfield Cup, or did she skip that for the Melbourne Cup?
No, she ran the Caulfield Cup. She ran in both. She was about 6 lengths behind Incentivize,
Right. Okay.
who beat everyone else by 4. So it's like, it's actually not that bad.
Oh, imagine if he was in this race.
So like, yeah, he'd gap him.
Yeah.
Like if Nonconformist was in this race,
Yeah. Great
and,
punt.
you know, it's like you can kind of time the form lines there.
Yeah.
So I think she's ideal at the price is probably the way I'm leaning. I agree. I would love Duais in the Queen Elizabeth, which they still might go that way.
Yep.
I'm not 100% convinced she runs out the 2400, but happy to be proven wrong.
Yep.
Of the top weights, think it over. If it is in that heavy range, I can just put a line through him. Just doesn't handle it. And Spanish Mission, he's probably the X factor, even though he's probably the class horse in the race. You just have no idea about his heavy form.
Agreed, and nor does Peter Moody.
Yeah.
So he's finally getting to a distance which is more suitable. He's been great this prep so far. This is what he's been aimed towards, because the Sydney Cup was always a maybe for Spanish Mission, because he's going to be carrying 59, 60 kilos or something ridiculous like that over 3,200 metres. It wouldn't surprise me to see him improve greatly off his Australia Cup run, lead pretty softly and win. I think he's probably the biggest danger to Duais for mine. Think it over. I agree. On a wet deck, unfortunately, no.
Yeah. And Spanish Mission's clockwise form is much better as well.
It is. And big watch, Drifters, C. Sneesby Racing. He's got one in here, number 7, Shiraz. Should run well here. If he does run well, he's only carrying 51 kegs in the Sydney Cup. We've told you before, we'll tell you again.
Sure.
15s at the moment. If he runs well here, you'll get a skinnier price than that. So keep an eye on the Winner Manly Silks for Shiraz.
Worth a play. So Duais for you.
Yep.
She's ideal for me. All right, here we go. I've changed my tip here about 4 times in the Vinery Stud Stakes. 2,000 metres, Group 1 for the 3-year-old fillies. Look, you've got David Van Dyke's Queensland Visitor, which we love to see here.
Love to see it.
Gypsy Goddess, who you couldn't be more impressive.
Mate, we love a Queenslander.
But my question to you is, who is she beating?
Who is she beating up on? Yeah, Queenslanders. We're a tough breed, mate. No, you're right. So are you thinking just the Sydney form's just going to be superior form?
Yeah, yes. Even though I'm not really going with the Sydney horse here, I've landed on another. Just trying to find something that I think will run out this, because I think some at the top of the market are vulnerable, including Gypsy Goddess. No knock. It's just I want to go with what I think is the strongest form lines.
Well, mate, it's your money. It's your hard earned. It's your tip.
Yeah.
You've got to test the tip before you put it all in.
Teo.
But yeah, Gypsy Goddess. Talk me through it, because I know you do like this horse.
I'm a big fan of Gypsy Goddess. I remember watching her spank him at about 20-something bucks in the Sunny Coast towards the end of last year. Just randomly was watching that race. Couldn't say I pay super close attention to the Sunny Coast form. Spanked him. Read about her the following week. Dave Van Dyke was like, she's the worst trainer I have. I didn't expect her to come out and do that. She's one of those horses, a bit like our friend Mwanga, who during the week shows absolutely nothing. No interest whatsoever. But come game day, really switches on. Yeah. So I've backed her every start since then, and she's just kept on winning. She's out of Tarzino. That's staying form. So for her, she's going to be great over the 2,000 and longer, I think. She's a back marker, so from that barrier 11, she's going to be at the back, or if not at the back, very close to the back. She's got the guy on board, Willie Pike, who loves being in that position and coming home with a flashing run and running to second or third.
Yeah.
Big query on her is the heavy deck. And the big query on her, like you said, is who's she beaten. But I've been mightily impressed with her, and I'm not jumping off now. Mm-hmm. I think $4.20 with Neds at the moment is probably a little bit skinny because of the queries on her, but I'm happy to be with her.
I have a feeling you'll get better on the day. I don't know. I have a feeling
I think she'll drift.
I reckon she'll drift.
Do you know what I think's going to start favourite? Between Hinged and Fangirl. Hinged, whilst it ran third in that Coolmore Classic over 1,500 metres, wide the entire trip.
Was out the back against the older mares.
Yeah.
So, very impressive.
Yeah, and we know that she loves a heavy deck. She'll be up on pace, thereabouts. She's the biggest danger for mine. If Gypsy Goddess wasn't a Queensland, if I hadn't backed her every start, I probably would be with Hinged. So, I'm going to have a little Quincy on with those two. Is there anything else that you want to talk about, mate? It sounds as if you're not going with any of those horses.
I'm not. The one I was interested in this prep was Never Been Kissed.
Yep.
And what I think she'll do nicely in this race is put a bit of speed in it. Soft draw, Regan Bayliss in the saddle for Gay Waterhouse, Adrian Bott. Ran second to Profondo in the Spring Champion. Now, query on her is I don't think she gets through the ground that well. So I've kind of jumped off her. She was my first thought. I have a query on Hinged at the distance, even though I've seen some very learned pundits say that she'll absolutely run it out.
Yeah, and I think we've seen time and time again, Chris Waller follows that surround Coolmore out to 2,000 metres with great success. I don't think I'd be concerned about her getting out to 2,000 metres, but if that's what you think, you got to trust your gut.
That's what I think. She's a fantastic weight tracker as well. So, there is a lot of pluses. She probably has the best form in the race because she raced against the older mares, ran third, wide the trip, as you said. Brilliant. Fangirl raced against the boys last start when she was about $1.50 and then failed. So she's probably got some better form lines than the rest of these. Outside of Gypsy Goddess, the one who has the completely different form line, who I'm going for here, is Yearning. $12. Look, I'd rather play there than the others that I have some queries on. Tommy Berry in the saddle for the Team Hawks.
Go Tommy Berry.
I feel like this is a bit of an ambush job, or Brisbane Broncos style this year. Look, she's undefeated third up. She's only had the one run. But first up, she was brilliant, running in the worst part of the track, just finishing behind Lavish Girl in Argentia. Next start, she was fifth, only beaten by just under 2 lengths by Barb Raider in Argentia. I think she was about second favourite there. Bryce tipped her on the podcast.
Yep.
She actually finished with a EPIH, slow recovery, and she still only finished just 2 lengths off them. They are known to come out and race well after such an affliction. I think she's worth a play. Looking at her form profile, yes, it is early in her career, but she does some of her best racing on softer ground. I think she's worth the play. Not stoked with the barrier. She probably has to get back from there, but if Never Been Kissed does put a bit of speed into it, then I think she can run into the money.
Mate, you're picking some juice.
Why not, mate? I've just got a feeling it's one of those days, but you know what? They could do nothing.
Hey, and that's the risk we all take.
It is. So that's the features done and dusted. What other races did you want to have a squiz at?
Do you want to go back to Moonee Valley?
Let's do it.
On Friday night.
The Sunline?
The Sunline, yes.
Race 4.
Race 4. Do you see anything beating number 3, Flying Mascot?
I honestly think it's a race in 2. Barb Raider and Flying Mascot. I think Flying Mascot will get the chockies. I think she's just a Group 1 mare in waiting. I will say, for your SRMs, chuck in Quantum Mechanic, number 2.
Josh McClellan horse, if I've ever seen one.
And she won this race last year.
She did. Look, I think Flying Mascot into Marabi is a 2-leg multi every single drifter should jump on. But if you do want to play in the exotics within the race, I think, Flying Mascot, Barb Raider in a Quinella is also a fantastic shout.
Love that for you. What else, mate? Because I've only got my best bet and that's about it.
Yeah, look, to be completely honest, I didn't find a stack this weekend that I really did like. Look, my best bet of the day's of the weekend is Marabi.
Mm-hmm.
Full disclosure, but it's obviously not getting super big odds. So, yeah, like I said, if you want to go flying mascot into Marabi, there you go. Do you think anything beats Anavisto and the Emancipation Stakes in race 5? Are you worried about Kissenor for Cheeks?
Just the wet ground is the query for it. But she won brilliantly at Flemington last start. Anavisto was fantastic as well. Look, you know who I will put into the mix here is number 2 Crone. She's low flying. I think she had a small setback while she was scratched from the Coolmore. But, you know, she's been only 3 lengths off him in Group 2 company. I think, and she's an absolute swimmer, that horse. Barrier 2, Hugh Bowman in the saddle, who's riding brilliantly at the moment. She could be the one, and she always wins at a price. She never wins when she's odds on.
No, she doesn't.
So, and obviously the, not the stablemate, what do you call them when they're not same silks, but different breeding mates?
Sure.
Promise of success.
Yep.
She ran brilliantly. But yeah, Anavisto looks pretty well placed.
Look, that's pretty much it. Look, there's a big watch this week on Tuesday in the trials. Rosehill, race 9, number 18. He was an emergency, but I think he gets in now with Remark and with Remark out. Mautai. Casey Fogden just ran second in a slipper with Best of Bordeaux. Do you think he wins this?
I found this race again impossible because there's horses like Arcado at, you know, any old price.
Trumbull,
Fender. You know, the horse that I kept coming back to in that race was Splintex.
Splintex, yeah, right.
Second up form, swims, doesn't do anything first up. Has that Shelby 66 form now.
Jeez, he's got the best form in the country.
I know. So, by all reports, he just never does anything first up. His second up profile is much better. Drawn soft. He could potentially cause an upset, but no confidence.
Potentially. But, mate, that's about it. Did you have a look at Mornington at all or not really?
Well, my best bet of the day comes at Mornington.
Well, there you go. Okay.
And that is Crystal Pegasus. So, if it's not Marzu, it has to be Crystal Pegasus. That's the way I'm playing this autumn.
Essentially free money for us this autumn off those two. Yeah, look, I think Crystal Pegasus will be awfully hard to beat. Can I just say, Pondus and I are not friends at the moment. It ran super, super well first up. Does it back it up again? Oh, it's just too hard to say with Pondus. So, yeah, I think Crystal Pegasus with a bit of Chris Waller magic will be very hard to beat.
Well, everyone's jumping on the Pondus train, as they should. It absolutely spanked him at Flemington. What did Crystal Pegasus do wrong?
Absolutely nothing.
Won by 6 lengths.
It did nothing wrong.
You know, he could have fell over, got up, and still won.
Yep.
And, you know, he has the weight advantage, 3.5 kilos off Pondus. You know, raced at the 2600 last start, does drop back here, but he's rock hard fit. So I think he's, you know, wins this, gets a ticket into the Caulfield Cup. If you think he'll win, get a ticket for the Caulfield Cup. May as well.
Get it out and just go for it.
Go for it. So, yeah, Crystal Pegasus.
Fair enough.
I think that's about it.
That's about it, mate. Yeah, nothing more to add. I think next week we'll have some exciting developments in line with, you know, what we've been speaking about when we first started the season.
You know,
so, hey, watch this space.
Watch this space. But I'm incredibly excited to get stuck in. And you know what? The other thing I'm excited for is to get to the track this year.
Hell yeah. Winter Carnival isn't too far away, mate. Definitely keen to get to the track. And, you know, enjoy everything that Brisbane racing has to offer. Shout out to the Mugs. They had Project Paperclip run today in Ipswich. A gallant 7th.
Yes, gallant. Speaking of, we'll be doing another podcast with them for the April features. We're going to be recording that this weekend, so they'll be in your feeds early next week. But I think we'll talk more Paperclip when we see them.
Sounds like a plan to me, mate.
Lovely. Alrighty, Drifters, if you're having a bet this weekend, do it responsibly. But until next time, we'll see you then.
Best of luck, guys.